Hello, this is Tammy from We Are Crafted in His Image, and today I want to share with you how to make this cute little dry erase, wet erase note holder, I don't know what you call it, note frame, I guess. Anyway, it is made using our birthday bouquet designer series paper again, and again, just absolutely love this paper. It has the prettiest different prints. It has polka dots, it has beautiful elegant flowers, it has very fun confetti and balloons, and let me see, oh, more flowers here, stripes, and oh, I don't see my favorite, it's the little ice cream cones. So that's the paper we're going to use, and we're going to do a little bit of cutting here today. Okay, this was made using one of these frames. It's meant to actually stand up this way, and I think the second one we're going to do will stand up like this, but I have, as you can see, turned it on its side. Kind of makes it easier to write on. If you're able to leave this on your desktop, you can write easily, but if you need to use it like on a window ledge or somewhere else, you could also insert everything so that it stands up. Either way, these were very inexpensive. I think I paid $1.99 for this at Wally World. So really you can get these all pretty much any little office supply area. So let's get started. This one is a 5x7 frame. So our first piece of paper is the pretty stripe. It has the flowers on the back side. And this is cut at 5x7 to fit inside there. And we're going to do a little bit of stamping. We're going to use our timeless textured stamps. And I'm using the Tip Top Taupe. Pardon me. No, I'm not. I'm using soft suede. Sorry about that. No, I did use Tip Top Taupe and soft suede. I used a little bit of both. So let me grab both of those out of here, and I'm going to start with this little. These stamps are very grungy. That's the best way I can say it. Very grungy. Lots of cool textures. We've got the little water or the little drink mark. We've got splatters, dots, grids, pretty fleur-de-lis or flourish, tape, just all kinds of different textures. We're going to use this one here, and I'm going to get my block, turn this around, and I just want a light shading around the edge. I don't want it super, super dark. So what I'm going to do is ink up my stamp, but then I'm going to stamp it off on here, and then press lightly. I'm not going to press super hard when I stamp that down. And overlapping a little bit so that you get a couple of different shades. You don't get necessarily the same, and sometimes I will just stamp again without even re-inking it, so that you do get lots of different variations in the coloring, in the shading, the darkness, the lightness. I'm just going to keep stamping all the way around the edge of this one, and you see here I didn't quite get to the edge, so I'm just going to re-stamp so that it covers, gives it that dark. Oh, this cough is never going to go away. Okay, so there is my edge, and it's kind of rough, and that's okay. That's kind of the idea of this texture. Then, oh, leave that out. I do need that. I'm going to take this kind of grid looking one here. I'm going to clean up my stamp so I can use this block again. And then I'm going to ink up with the Tip Top Taupe, but then I'm also going to take a sponge in my soft suede, and I'm just going to dab that on a few areas so that you'll see, and I'm going to stamp this off. Well, you don't see it very much. Let me try adding a little bit more. There we go. Ah, there we go. Now we're getting some darker colors. And I'm just going to stamp this down at the bottom. I don't know if you can see it in the picture. You've got lighter brown and darker brown all in the same stamp. And that's the look I'm going for. I want it to look aged. I wanted to give it that kind of rustic look. A little bit more on this one here. And then I'm just going to go right along the top here. And even just slightly angled, maybe not necessarily straight. There we go. Alright, clean my stamp again. And now on to the little flourish stamp. Here we go. We have this one here. And this one I think I'm just going to do the tip-top taupe. And again, stamping off so the color's not too intense. And kind of, right up there. Oh, I like it. I like it. And then another one up over here. Yeah, good. And then the last thing I'm going to do, need my little tiny block. We're going to give some, oops, hold on there. There we go. I'm using the soft suede, which is a little bit darker than the tip-top taupe. And I'm just going to put a few splatters. Stamping off first, but then maybe making a couple of stamps here and there where, so you get a couple of different shade variations of the shade again. There we go. I think that looks good. I think our stamping is actually done for this project, but we still need some ink. We're still going to do some inking. So let me move these all out of the way and find my pull party. There you are, pull party. Da, da, da. If you notice on this, if you were to look for this piece of paper in our catalog, you would not find it in this color. You would not find anything that quite looks like that. But in our celebration catalog, and this is only good until the end of March, you will find this page here, and it is our Memories in the Making Project Life specialty card collection. And in it, it actually comes with, this is so cool, and I did not even realize this until I got mine, that it has clear I can't think of the word now, window sheet type of cards, and then it has embossed cards. So every other one in there, one is the window sheet and one is embossed. And some of the embossed ones are colored, like this. Most of them, this is so cool looking, most of them are white, like this one here. And that is the card that I did. That's how I got the one in my other. I used this card here, and I sponged it with Pool Party ink to give me those flowers. But I think what I'm going to do in the next one, I think I'm going to use, no, we'll use this one again. This one here. So the embossing will resist your color. It won't take the color. So what you're going to do, and actually because I may not necessarily, I may want to use some of this extra for something else, I'm not going to ink the whole thing. I'm going to actually punch it first and then just ink the piece that I punched. That way, if I decide I want to use that paper for something else, I have this, I can make it a different color later on. And you know, you can use, I mean, there's so many different punches we have that would fit on here, or even just a strip of that. Yeah, I'm not going to waste it. So I've got my paper, and this is where the magic happens. A little Pool Party ink. Start rubbing that on there. And look how those flowers just pop right out at you. Kind of cool. And I could even do this variegated if I wanted by doing lighter shade and then a darker down here. You can do rainbow colors. I'm just going to do this all the blue, this cool Pool Party. Just kind of rub it. Also, if you had a spritzer, which I do not have a spritzer with Pool Party in it, you can actually just spritz it with the re-inker and a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and that will do the same thing. Probably goes a lot faster than this, but then you have to wait for it to dry too. So there we go. There is our cool little circle. Done. Now we're done with our ink pads and sponges. And this part I did ahead of time. I took one of these and I fussy cut, as we call it, one of the flower emblems right out of the piece. You can see this is the striped paper on this side, and I cut it out. Now I did not try to cut out these little things. I cut those off, and I could have, if I was putting this on a card, I may have even cut some of these off and not used them, because of going in and out of envelope, they're going to end up getting torn. But because these are going to be inside of the plastic, they're really not going to be disturbed. They're not going to, I don't have to worry about them falling apart. So I did cut that out earlier. Have that ready to go. Couple other pieces I want to get ready before I start. I'm going to take, this is a piece of Watermelon Wonder, just a strip. And here's one of our heart punches. And I think I'm going to put it in so that I have some of it hanging out the side so that I know that I have some extra there. Punch that out, save these, and actually I need another one. So you know what? I'm just going to line this up like that. There we go. So I have my hearts that I will use later. And this part, I'm going to take my paper snips. And I'm just going to give it a little flag ribbon edge to it. There we go. And I have another piece of white that I also cut. Now if you wanted to, you could stamp a sentiment or something on here, but I really couldn't find a sentiment that I wanted to have out on my desk on a all the time basis. So I'm just going to leave that blank, and I'm going to grab my bone folder, which is right next to me and I can't see it. And I'm just going to give this paper a little bit of movement. As you can see, I run it this way a little bit, and then I flipped it over and ran it this way. And it just kind of gives it a little bit of movement so it's not a flat piece of paper. And I'm going to do the same with this one. Only this one I'm going to run this direction and then this direction. So I have that little extra. And I am going to end up cutting both of these down just to see where I want them. But for now, that looks pretty good. So let me set this aside, and I'm going to get my flowers ready. So what I want to do now is take a little bit of our tear and tape. I'm going to put a couple of pieces across the back of this flower. Just 2 small pieces. And then I took a piece of burlap ribbon and I cut off the edge, the sewn edge, and then I'm just going to pull strings. 2. Come on. There we go. Well, we'll do the last 2 just in case we need them. There we go. Now I could have cut a longer piece and done all the loops from one long string, but I really didn't. This was actually a leftover piece from some other project, so trying not to waste my burlap. And now what I'm going to do is peel the backing off of my tear and tape. Maybe, if my nails will cooperate. There we go. And then I'm just going to take these little strings and make little loops on the back. Some of them I may let the end hang out. You know, one end hang off the edge. So we have short loops and long loops and wide loops and there we go. And I think I'm going to focus most of my loops on this side. And you know what? With this last piece here, I'm simply going to have part of it hanging off over here. And yeah, I'll just make another loop. There we go. Okay, so see? Loopy loopy. Now it's time to start adhering everything down. So here we go. A little bit of snail. Whoop. And I'm just going to hold this so I know about where I want this circle to go. I want to make sure nothing is going to hang off the edge. I don't want anything sticking out of my frame. There, stick that there. These 2, I think I want to trim down a little. I think they're a little long. So, trim this one down. Okay. And then I'm just going to stick some snail on the back of my white little tag. Stick the red one to it. My white might be a little bigger than I wanted. You know what? I'm going to stick the red on top of it, not on the bottom of it. Stick. There we go. So you can see more of the hearts. They're so cute. Okay, and then stick this down here. Make sure that's going to be covered. Do I need to trim any? I do need to trim some of it. So trim that off. And now I'll put a bit more adhesive on there, make sure it's going to stick well. There we go. Now for this to stick, because we have all this fuzziness going on in the back, I'm going to use dimensionals because I want to lift that up a bit and make sure it's going to adhere well. It's not going to go anywhere. So I have a couple of dimensionals that have been cut in half, and I'm just going to stick them in between the burlap strands. I'll probably use maybe 5 of them on here. Whoops. Apparently the cat is attacking the dogs, and the dogs are not very happy about it. Alright, so that should be enough adhesive there to stick my flower on. So let me pull this off. Okay, so I've got all my adhesive, my backings pulled off, and make sure the ends of my little bows are hidden, or my little ribbons. And now to pull this color up a little bit, I'm going to pull out, or let's see, I'm just gonna lay these out and see where I like them. Oops, turn that way. One over here. One over here. I can't grab a hold of them. I have no fingernails. There we go. I think I like that. So, using our fine tip glue pen, which I love. And this is not a Stampin' Up! Product. This is from Silhouette, and it's called a Pick Me Up. And this is awesome. This is great for little tiny things, sequins and stuff like this. So what I'm going to do is, it has sticky on the end, kind of like that sticky tack stuff you use to put posters on the wall. And I'm just going to lift that up, whoops, and put a little dot of glue, push it back down, and it actually has a spot back here that you can pull out to use, but I'm not quite coordinated enough to do both, so I'm just going to use my finger here, stick a little glue. I might use this to push it around though, get it where I want it. There you go. And then over on this side, same thing. Lift, glue, stick. Lift, glue, stick. And then I know it's pretty much going back where I originally wanted it. There we go. Oh, listen to my cat Mittens. He's upset about something. It must be getting close to dinner time, I think. The dogs are wanting me to do something with them as well. They're both putting their paws on my legs saying, "Mommy, please." Okay, so this is pretty much finished. I'll give that just a second. This glue actually dries very quickly. I was quite surprised for a liquid glue at how quickly it actually dries. So let me move all this stuff out of the way. Get out of the way over there. Pull in my frame. And this one I'm actually going to slide in the way it was meant to be slid. But I like that these can pull out. I don't recommend pulling them too far, but this way I can get my flower in without pulling on anything. And my hearts, not knocking anything out. And there you go. So I have, this one is meant to sit that way, and this one will go this way. And, oh, here we go. I meant to get me another pen. So you can see this one is a wet erase pen, not a dry erase pen. And there went my cap flying across the room. So you can just write your notes, but then you do have to use, I'm going to write a note for my hubby. There you go. For this pen, you need to use a wet wipe or something wet to take it off, but you can use dry erase markers on them just as well. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed my project. I hope you get a chance to do some crafting. And until next time, God's love and blessings to you. Bye.